Hey guys, the man formerly known as the Aqua Duelist here. Unfortunately, our latest video was copyright claimed. The clip that was claimed was of my face replacing every One Piece character of the original One Piece opening. There was nothing in the clip except me and maybe some background art. This unfortunately implies that they have claimed my face as their intellectual property. This exact same thing has happened before with the Evangelion intro. This means two separate animation companies have claimed rights to my face, and as some of you may know, this also implies that I am now legally part of both the One Piece and Evangelion canon. I would like to announce that I will in fact be making Shinji get into the robot. On screen now will be various stock videos of things the editor has downloaded over the course of the channel's lifespan. Now we can imagine how hilarious and genius this intro would have been. The legendary and iconic intro that was sadly cut from this world. Imagine how smart and thought-provoking it would have been. This intro could have stopped wars. That is how beautiful it is. I hope you all can forgive us for being ambitious. Too ambitious, apparently. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Hey fishermen, Aqua Duelist here, and today I'm giving you guys an update to my Umi control or Kairyu-shin control. Goes by, pretty much either, so... But it's been a hot minute since I played this deck, and honestly, I've been really wanting to play at locals for, probably like a month now. So I decided to slap this deck back together, did some changes and such, and took it to locals, and didn't do too bad with it. I did change a couple cards out, after just kind of how things went at locals. So next time I take this to locals, I feel like I'm going to be better prepared in a sense. So yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Thank you guys so much for watching and, just giving this video a, look. So off the bat, we are playing 3 copies of Kairyu-shin. And this is basically our Ocean Lord Kairyu-shin. So this is basically the main card in the deck that you want to see. Well, one of the 2 cards. So he's basically like a kind of like a Gozen and Rivalry in one in a sense. So basically, he's on the field. Your opponent, and you have Umi on the field. Your opponent can only control basically 1 non-water monster. So yeah, and then he basically searches for a sea stealth attack or Kairyu-shin. Cards, so yeah, because you do got Kairyu-shin spells and traps, so you'll be searching those with him. Next up on the monsters, playing 3 copies of Electric Jellyfish, like call it Electric Boogaloo. So basically, you can send a Umi from anywhere, your deck or field to the grave, and you can special summon a water monster in your hand, and he's basically like a spell and trap negate. So yeah, after the negate, he gets like 600 attack. So he gets stronger. So your opponent can't easily run over him. So yeah. Next up, obviously, we gotta play 3 copies of that absolutely beautiful and sexy Ulti Warrior of Atlantis. This searches out your legendary ocean, which in order to play this deck, you need those legendary oceans. Like, you need to see a copy. You do have some other cards that take the name of Umi, and your deck can basically function and play even with those on the field. You just essentially kind of control, in a sense, controlling having an Umi in a sense. So yeah. And then, speaking of the Umi cards, do play 1 copy of Maiden of the Aqua. She basically acts as Umi if the field spell's not on the field. 1 copy of Mega Fortress Whale. This card's actually, low-key, just a lot better than I really thought. So, basically, he makes it to where your water monsters can basically attack directly if Umi's on the field. During the battle phase, quick effect, he can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it, and then if it gets destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can summon a warrior monster or a water warrior from your deck. I do have a spice card that I'm playing for this, so we'll get to that when we get there. And then the last Umi card I play is Doom Kraken. So this is basically kind of like a hand trap in a sense, because it basically removes a monster your opponent controls, and it's like you return. I think it's like you target a card you control and your opponent controls. It'll remove that monster. That effect never really came up for me, because I was summoning this off of C Stealth Attack 2 usually. But if your opponent declares an attack, you can negate it and return this to the hand. So, you basically get like a sense of removal. But, you have to like remove one of your own monsters. So, it's... Like I said, I was mainly summoning this off of C Stealth Attack 2 when I had it. So, but yeah, it's relatively pretty good. And, you want to play it at 1. So... For the other monsters I play, I do play one copy of Terra King Salmon, or Salmon, however you want to pronounce it. Either is correct. So basically, this is just the one vanilla I play for Fish Sonar. I do play just the one, so this way I can go into some rank 4 plays, because that is an option. I do have a play for if I'm basically, going second. One copy of Gamma Seal. Nobody ever expects this motherfucker. It's great. You have a way to search him in the deck, and when you do, it's fucking amazing. One of my opponents that, I did this to, basically when I searched it off of Ice Barrier, he looked at me and said, hold up, hold the fuck up. And I said, no. I can search this because it's level 5 or higher and it's water. So, yeah, people don't realize this deck can search Gamma Seal. Lastly, for the water monsters, this is the spice. This is some spicy shit right here. So in the tournament, I actually played Called by the Grave in this card's place, and I really do want to test this out. So this be some spice right here. So it's a General Ryo of the Ice Bear. I still struggle sometimes to pronounce his name. So basically, if your opponent has a monster on field and they use an effect, they have to discard a card they can in their hand, or the effect gets negated. There is no once per turn on this, at all. So the whole concept on why I'm wanting to really test this out, because if I played this at locals, this would have came up. I'm just gonna be honest, this really would have came up, because I had times where I could summon the whale off of C Stealth Attack 2, and C Stealth Attack 2's effect destroys the whale. So that will actually proc basically proc the whale's effect when it's destroyed, which will let you summon this from the deck. So for those grindier games, because this deck does, this deck doesn't just win turn 1. It can grind, and it grinds for a little bit, usually most of the time when I'm playing. So this definitely would have came up, and I do want to try it out. But yeah, if you don't want to play him specifically, just play Call by the Grave like I did. Call by the Grave, I think, came up one time though. I mean, it's at 1. It's stupidly good, but yeah. No, I just wanted to try this out, and I felt like Call by the Grave was the card that was just most cuttable. So, but yeah, the theory behind this is basically it just helps with that grind game and really just limits what the opponent can do. Because, they have to just discard cards to activate anything. If they don't have any cards in hand, they ain't activating shit. So, yeah, that's the theory behind this card. Like I said, it's some spicy tech I'm going to try out, and I really just kind of wanted to show it and talk about it real quick. Then lastly, 3 Ash Blossom. Self-explanatory. I don't need to say anything else. It's Ash Blossom. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Now going on to the spells. Playing 3 copies of the Legendary Ocean here. You want to see this card to be able to play mostly. So this reduces all water monsters in your hand. You control and in your hand by 1 level. So you can normal summon Kairyu-shin. So yeah. And then obviously we gotta play one copy of the sexy ulti terraforming. You gotta play ulti terraformings, and you gotta play ulti Warrior of Atlantis. You have to play ultis in order to really just, absolutely maximize on this deck, because the only thing that can negate those is ulti Ash, which doesn't exist. So, gotta play ultis to basically protect yourself there. So next up, 3 copies of Fish Sonar. This card is absolutely amazing. I love it. So basically, you basically search for a water monster with Umi in its card text, and then if you have Umi on the field, you're going to go ahead and you're going to summon that Terra King Salmon out of the deck. So yeah, that's what that does. Basically like a reinforcing army for this deck specifically. So I'm playing 2 Sea Stealth Attack 2s. Now in the tournament, I was only playing 1, and I played 3 Dark Ruler No Mores, and I'll show which cards I decided to bump up in place of Dark Ruler No Mores. The theory behind Dark Ruler No More was this deck can basically easily break boards, and if I lost the dice roll to go second, I wanted to play Dark Ruler No More to basically be able to pop card, or basically be able to easily clear out boards and stun. But every time I went first, I always saw the damn thing because I won the die rolls. And anytime I went second, I just never fucking saw the thing. So that's going to the side deck now. And I decided to bump this up to 2. I was only playing at 1 at the tournament, and this card came up a lot. If my opponent outed it, it kind of sucked a bit. But so it basically makes it to where while Umi's on the field, this card name becomes Umi on the field or in the grave, and then your opponent can't target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects. At the start of the battle phase, you can special summon from your hand or graveyard 1 monster that mentions Umi in, its text, or a normal water monster in face-up defensive position. So you can effectively really reuse that Terra King Salmon if you need to just protect yourself for the longevity. But the main thing I did with this was I basically would summon out the Kraken, and I would also summon the Mega Fortress Well, because there was a few times, I think there was like 2 games where I drew the Mega Fortress Well, and if I did Fortress Well, I would just pop a monster my opponent controls mid battle phase. Which if you have a Kairyu-shin on the field, that basically clears out your opponent's field, unless they're playing a water deck. Or, I would just loop Kraken, negate the attacks, put Kraken back in my hand. And I had a game where I think I did that for like 3 or 4 turns, I think it was 3 turns, because I was trying to draw the out I needed for the monster he had, because I didn't want to give up my Kairyu-shin because he didn't have the out to Kairyu-shin. So after the 3rd turn of me doing that, he just scooped because he couldn't out it. So yeah, this card's really good. I love it. There's some really cool things you can do with it. Next up, 3 prosperities. Helps you see the shit you need. I mean, it's pot prosperity. I can't really say anything else. So, major change since my last deck profile. I'm playing 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Because I am playing the Ice Barrier pack, the Trap Ice Barrier. I'm playing the package for it, and holy shit, Ice Barrier is good. So, yeah. The whole thing with this basically is you want to use this to basically send a Ice Barrier to the grave to basically use the effect of Ice Barrier, which we'll get to in a moment. So that's it for the spells. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the traps. Sorry guys. So yeah guys, for the traps, first for the Umi stuff, I'm playing 2 copies Sea Stealth Attack. So this basically makes it to where level 5 or higher monsters you control, like if they do battle with an opponent's monster, automatically they are just destroyed. That's like damage calculation doesn't even happen. Like they are just instantly destroyed. It's stupid. If your opponent doesn't read this card, keeps trying to crash, they're just going to clear their own board. So yeah, that's a thing. Absolutely love doing that in Phantasm Spirals. It's fucking amazing. It's got a second effect where you can banish a water monster you control, and your back row is completely safe. Can't be destroyed, but they can still evenly you, so keep that in mind, guys. This does not protect you against evenly, so yeah, just remember. I did not get evenlied, so, but I figured I'd point that out. So I ended up bumping this up to 2, because I was playing this at 1. This is Kairyu-shin's Dark Reef. Reason why I wanted to bump this up too was I actually searched it, and then my opponent immediately destroyed it, and I was like, oh, that sucks, because I actually just would have went game next turn. So basically what this does is you can send a face-up Umi you control to the grave, and then special summon 2 monsters with different names from your hand or deck that mention, Umi in their card text. And then if your opponent controls a monster, you can just special summon a shit ton of water vanillas from your deck, but we're not doing that. We're just basically with this, you usually want to summon the way in the case where you don't have C Stealth Attack 2, or I'm sorry, C Stealth Attack 1, you summon, or if you don't have C Stealth Attack 2 even, you basically just summon the Maiden of the Aqua, and then you can go for the electric jellyfish or the whale. If you know you can close out next turn, you go for the whale, so your monsters can basically attack directly. So yeah, a few different things you could do, a few different options of what you want to summon. It all just depends on basically the game state. So, but yeah, I decided to bump this up to 2. I felt like just 1 really wasn't enough. Lastly, Ice Barrier. Oh my god, I fucking love this card. I immediately wanted to bump this shit up to 3 because I played that too and I regretted it. So you can send this off of Foolish Burial Goods here, and you get to immediately just send, or you banish it from the grave, and then you send a level 5 or higher water monster, and then you just basically add it to your hand. It's all one effect. So if your opponent's just I'm okay with you sending, and then when you add, they try to ash, they can't do that. They already okayed the effect, and I had somebody do that. I had to explain to them it was all one effect. So yeah, once they give the okay for basically the Foolish, you automatically get to add to hand. They can't stop that because they've already okayed the effect. But it has a, that's the thing, that effect's stupidly good, because it literally gets you Gamma Seal, it gets you Kairyu-shin, it can get you the Whale if you want to do C Stealth Attack 2 plays right there. Basically just summon it during the battle phase, pop a monster they control, and then, it gets destroyed at the end of the battle phase, and then, you get the Ice Bear General. It's really good. It has another effect though when it's on the field. When you set it, and this came up a couple times, because this deck doesn't have a super strong field presence starting out, and it just kind of, the idea is you go for Kairyu-shin, and then or maybe Jellyfish and Kairyu-shin, and you just kind of snowball your opponent. So basically, if an attack is declared with your opponent's monster, you change that attack to 0, negate its effects, and cannot change the battle position. So it's also another way to basically protect Kairyu-shin. This card's just so much better than oh my god, I love it. Holy crap, that first effect literally saved me 2 games. I have a newfound love for this card, and just the little engine revolving around this. It's stupidly generic, and I just love it. This is one of my new. I'm just gonna say it, this is one of my new little favorite engines right now. I definitely am gonna be trying this out in a lot of just water decks going forward. So alright guys, so for the extra deck, we are playing 3 copies of Bahamut Shark here, because Bahamut Shark is great. 3 copies of Toad, because, you know, it's Toad. And then here's where things get interesting. I do have a second option now. So let's say I was doing like the going second, you know, thing I told you about, you know, like I fished sonar, and, you know, yeah. I can go Bahamut Shark into Nightmare Shark, and then I can immediately put full armor Black Ray Lancer on top of that. And, you know, him and Bahamut Shark are rank 4s. So I can effectively just go Utopia Future here, make Utopic Draco, swing over something, and then Zeus. 4 material Zeus. Yeah. It's just, it's great. I like it. It's nobody sees it coming. I did it one time, and you know, it was pretty fucking wild. Opponent lost his shit. So yeah, that's a thing. I do also play 2 copies of Abyss Dweller. It's beautiful, sexy ultis. 1 copy of number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Holy shit, I can't believe I said its name right. It's kind of like, best way I can say, it's basically kind of like a water, kind of like a water version of like Utopia the Lightning in a sense. You know, you use it to beat over really big things, and yeah. And then lastly, 1 copy of Silent Honor Arc, hoping to see if I can get the picture to show up on there, because, you know, I just want to. But yeah, just like tech removal. You know, yeah, it's like, I mean, the deck can already remove quite a lot, and honestly, I didn't really want to play a second copy of him, and I don't have a third ulti Abyss Dweller, so, you know, I felt Ghost or Silent Honor Arc would be good. You know, out here 2023, still playing Silent Honor Arc, because I'm one of those scrubs. So, I hope you guys really enjoyed this deck profile. I know it's running a bit, it ran a bit long, but, you know, I really wanted to just kind of explain some stuff, because I kind of want to be more in depth, you know, because I love what I do. I love my water decks. So, anyways, fishermen, I will see y'all in the next video, guys. Go ahead and harpoon that like button, harpoon that subscribe button. Really helps the channel. Comment any comments y'all have, and link in the description down below to my Instagram if you want to follow me on there. And I will see y'all in the next video.